Hey everyone, my name is Matt, and this is my final build for Project 3 of Mark Rober's Creative Engineering course. For the last 3 years, I've worked from home full time, and being that I work in IT security, I spend a lot of time on my computer. One of the things I find is that I often get into the zone and just forget to get up from my desk, take a break, and sometimes I don't even eat lunch until really late into the afternoon. So, building off of our theme of habits, I wanted to build something that would remind me to eat lunch on time and just get up and away from my desk for a little bit every day. While I could use something like an alarm clock or a reminder app, I have tried those before, and one of the things I don't like is it's just really easy to dismiss the notification and just kind of pop back to whatever you were doing. So I wanted to build something that was a little more interactive and where you couldn't just dismiss a notification. Let's take a look at the build. This is the reminder launcher. Everything is controlled by a Python script running on this Raspberry Pi 4. Connected to the Pi, we have a set of speakers for sound effects and a USB-powered missile launcher. The last piece of the build is this Bluetooth low energy beacon. I purchased the beacon on Amazon for under $20, and I picked this one because it had the fastest possible shipping. I also like that it has a built-in temperature sensor, and this button here is configurable. There's a mobile app that allows you to control things like the transmit power, the beacon interval, and even the data that's transmitted by the beacon. This is my first time using something like this, but I'll be looking for ways to incorporate them into future projects. While everything here is an off-the-shelf part, this build got off to a rough start. I purchased the missile launcher for another project several years ago, and it's been in storage ever since. However, after getting it hooked up, I quickly found out that it would move left and right, but it wasn't moving up and down, or the most important part, firing. I spent several hours disassembling it, and after some troubleshooting and eventually applying power directly to each of the motors, I was able to get it working again. Not sure exactly what the problem was, but it seems like the motors may have been seized up. As I mentioned previously, everything is controlled by a Python script running on the Raspberry Pi. I have it configured to run every day around lunchtime and again in the afternoon for a break. When I was writing the code, I used a few different Python modules to limit the code I needed to write, so it's only about 200 lines with a lot of comments. I also made the timings configurable from the command line, which makes it really easy to test when you're making changes, and then in my case, it allows me to vary the timeouts between different runs throughout the day. So my lunch reminder and my afternoon break reminder both have different timings to them. So those optional arguments are a random delay before starting, how many minutes before the missile is launched, and then finally how long the beacon needs to be undetected before the missile is launched. So for demonstration purposes, let's run it with no delay, 1 minute to launch, and then a timeout of 10 seconds where the beacon needs to go undetected to abort the launch. Right now the beacon is off, so when we run this, it will not find the beacon and report an error message. All right, now let's turn the beacon on and run the script again with the same parameters.
Target locked.
As you can see, the beacon was detected, and now I'm going to turn it off again to simulate me leaving the room.
All clear.
Since the beacon went undetected, it announced that the area is all clear and exited. Let's run it one last time with the beacon on, and we'll keep it on the whole time.
Target locked. Seven, six, five, four, three, two,
And since the beacon stayed on the whole time, we launched a reminder missile. The last thing I wanted to note is that while I do have the beacon very close to the Raspberry Pi for this example, the range on it is actually really good. It can easily transmit 100, 200 feet or more. And that again is configurable in the mobile app. And that was the reminder launcher. There were certainly challenges along the way, but it's something I had a lot of fun working on, and it's a build I definitely want to expand in the future. Starting with the button on the Bluetooth beacon, I'd like to set that up like a snooze feature. So if you're in the middle of something, you can delay that reminder for a few minutes, but not completely dismiss it. I'd also like to set it up so that if you're in an important Zoom meeting or something like that, it won't interrupt the meeting. Thanks for watching.